I believe that the police should be defunded. Like, I think 90% of their resources are put on bullshit.
I actually don't think that the police should be defunded.
That's interesting because you were pretty big in the protests.
Huge in the protests.
Yeah.
Never was big on defunding the police necessarily.
You just want like restructure and reform kind of in a way.
Because I don't like the idea. I don't like the police now. I don't like them at all. Definitely need a big backtrack. Real big backtrack. I don't like how little of education that you need to have to become a police officer. I don't like how you can just go to the military for 4. You could be in the National Guard, not even in active duty for 4 years.
You say a desk or something.
I'm just saying, dude. If you were in the National Guard for 4 years and you were never listed for active duty, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be like, oh, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. You know, like, I do appreciate the idea of like that you were trying to do something good, if that's the reason that you did it. I do appreciate that, but I'm not going to hold you on some pedestal like you're somehow better than me or better than somebody else. Because you get that? Because a lot of the guys I've met in the Army and Marines don't act like that. A lot of guys in the National Guard have acted like that. They're like I don't care. Fucking lost my point.
Well, I guess I think at the end of the I don't know. I'm against communism. That's my bottom line.
I definitely don't want to bring communism here. Oh, no. Defunding the police.
The police. Yes. Yeah. Well, okay. So I think sorry.
I was saying people can go to the military like that, and then it's like way easier for them to get a job as a police officer. And I'm like,
yes.
Don't really know if that's okay. Getting trained to go to war and getting trained to protect the public.
Yes.
Two completely different things. And that's the biggest thing. That's like, it's not that they need less money. It's that we need to quit having state troopers train with the National Guard on how to stop a riot. You know? Well, we need to train our officers how to actually work with the public. They need to be people that actually care about the public. Well,
I guess here's the thing. I think most of police's resources, especially in Iowa, are meant for two things: traffic violations and drugs. Oh. And most of their resources go to that. And I don't believe that any of it should go to that. So I don't think it's ridiculous to say, okay, motherfuckers, if you just focus on the things that really matter, do you really need that much money? If you're spending 90% of your time on this, how does that equate? How do they get the same amount of money after that?
And I can agree with defunding department because of a situation like that. Absolutely. Obviously, the drug thing needs to fucking almost be completely fucking gone, in my opinion.
Agree.
Like, there's very, very few things. Like, maybe a drug charge if you knowingly sold somebody drugs that was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is almost sure to kill him. Like, if you got caught selling
every station, like store and gas station in Iowa has done that. Like, it happens all the fucking time.
What?
Dude. Like,
not sold fake drugs?
Not drugs, but alcohol.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about like fake drugs. Like if you got caught up because you told somebody that you were going to sell them Percocets,
so like poisoning,
but then they had a bunch of fent in them, and like you knew it was going to kill them. That type of shit. Well, you know what I mean? And who's going to handle that? Yeah. I don't want to handle that. But we need people that get paid to handle shit like that.
Well, I would just classify that as murder. I mean, that's just poisoning something. That's murder. That doesn't even mean you use a drug as a vessel, but so
what if the argument comes down to they didn't know?
Well, yeah, then you murdered them. You mean the person?
So then when they go to court, they didn't realize they had fentanyl in them, but they still sold it to their fucking.
Well, look, I mean, you're still selling the product at the end of the day, right? If you're selling some, like, I don't know, something like knives or like a like.
So does that go for murder, or is that a drug charge?
It would be murder. I mean, that would be the focus. I mean, because you're hurt. I mean,
murder's a big charge, though. You can go to.
Exactly.
If you didn't know, though.
Well, there could be degrees. I mean, look. Okay, let's say you give somebody like a gun. Like you sell somebody a gun, and then they did a really shitty job checking it, making sure it was good, and then somebody like it fucks up, it kills someone. Like, yeah, that person would be guilty to some degree. I can agree with that. Yeah. Like, I think if Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that idea that like if you're knowingly hazardous, and look, I mean, it gets complicated. Like I do understand that there are times where people like accidentally do shit like that, and that's great. You know, that's murky waters right there. You know,
That's great.
no, I said gray. Sorry, gray.
Oh,
like
gray.
waters.
I thought you
Not
said great. I was like, that's great. I was like, not what I was thinking, but close, I guess. Fuck. Oh, damn.
Hey, survival of the fittest, baby.
Yeah, I'm not the fittest, I can tell you that, but might be might end up being the survival of the smartest. I don't know what route we're heading to. Maybe a little bit of both.
I think it means.
Point
the same
is,
thing.
though, for me, when it comes to like, I guess defunding the police, yes, I can get down with, but there was a lot of like defund and abolish the police, which are two different things, and I don't know how people were so. And I just don't.
I tend to be
believe
less
in-
libertarian on that.
Yeah,
Absolution.
just not fucking like abolishing. It's like we have to have a lot of things need to be changed. Guns, I don't think. But I'm not gonna say that a cop shouldn't be allowed to carry a gun.
I see what you're saying.
Because I believe in the Second Amendment. I love the Second
100%,
Amendment.
100%.
So why the fuck am I gonna tell? Because a cop is like, you know, you're supposed to be the motherfucker that runs towards danger when everybody else is running away from it. That's the motherfucker you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So why the fuck? So I'm not gonna sit here and try to say that police officers should get paid less. I think they need more educated. I think there needs to be higher standards for people that we choose to be police officers. You ever met a police officer that seemed like he was a pretty fucking good guy? I have.
Sure, yeah. 100.
I don't know.
20 times.
I don't know what they're doing every day in their fucking personal life, but they seem to be a decent dude, and they seem to actually care about the community they work for. That's what we fucking need.
Sure.
Like when people are fucking calling the cops, are like, oh, there's a bunch of fucking black kids out here playing basketball, and the cop shows up and he's like, hey guys, you're playing basketball. Have fun. You know, we're happy you're doing this. We're happy that you're out here having fun and just being regular, everyday fucking people.
But let's say this. Let's say one of them has a joint. And they're in Iowa and they're a joint. That's a different story then.
Well, I believe that weed should be.
No, I agree. I
I
agree, but I guess at the end of the day, like, you have something that's imposing their will on you. And
well,
like,
that's where things need change.
And like people,
I'm just putting up the argument that we shouldn't get rid of them completely.
I
That
agree.
we need guys that actually give a fuck. And if it's a bunch of kids though, because I did say kids playing basketball. So to be fair, if one of them had a joint, I hope he takes it away from them and then calls their parents. So,
I guess ultimately, even if their intentions are good, they're still falling into a system that they can impose anything, and they're going to blindly believe that.
the system needs changed.
But it can't be changed because it can't really be changed to like a full true extent because it will always fail on some extent.
You know what would happen though? If American society just abolished the police today, they would just come up with this brand new idea, and then 15 years later, it would just become the police again. Maybe not the same way exactly.
So this is a point that I disagree with a lot of anarchists and hardcore libertarians on, is I do believe that government is inevitable. I think even if you had an anarcho-capitalist society, people are going to get together and they're going to decide, okay, we need a government. Because
they're going to be, it's going to be like 10 years later, and somebody's going to be like, all right, guys, we need a boss.
Exactly.
And then the boss is going to be like, I can't do this by myself. I need people to help me. And so it's just going to go a president, and then he's going to build his cabinet. Then they're eventually going to build a Congress as they grow. And like, even if they're named different things, it's going to go down the same fucking cycle.
I agree.
Every time.